Minecraft kinda sucks, and I feel like it's one of the worst games around. Let me explain. September 15th, 2014, Microsoft announced that there was an agreement made to acquire Mojang. Some may ask why this would be a bad thing. It might be a good thing after all. Who really knows? 1.7.10 was the last game version that was made before Microsoft acquired Minecraft. Anything 1.8 and beyond were updates under Microsoft's ownership. Today we'll be going through some of the game versions and I will be explaining why I feel like the game has gone downhill. Grab some popcorn or whatever you eat during YouTube videos because I do have a few words to say on this. 1.8 was released during the time that Microsoft was buying Mojang. Technically speaking, yes, 1.8 did come out before Microsoft bought out the game, but it was within weeks. 1.8 came out September 2nd, 2014, and Microsoft bought Mojang on the 15th of the same month and year. 1.8 did not really change the game all that much. It never made me hate the game either. I will play 1.8 with no issues. I just stuck on 1.7.10 as the mod support was amazing versus the 1.8 counterpart. In the 1.8 update of the game, we saw the addition of the most hated blocks while mining, granite, andesite, and diorite. I'm glad to see new blocks added into the game, yes, but we all hate these blocks whenever we are mining. We also saw the addition of ocean monuments, which is quite cool to see new structures being added onto vanilla Minecraft. Included with the things above, we saw things like armor stands added, sheep dropping food, and some more mobs added to the end. I did not mention everything added in 1.8 as I don't want this video to be an hour long for each update that we are talking about today. Was 1.8 a bad update? No. 1.8 was not a bad update. Yeah, it didn't have a crazy ton of content, but it still added things. The only reason why I mention this update is because this is the time when Microsoft acquired Mojang. Things only went downhill from here. Oh boy, where do I even begin on this one? After about 1 1/3 years later, we saw the 1.9 combat update come out. This is where my hatred for Microsoft acquiring Mojang really began. The worst thing about this update was the attack cooldown. Not sure who thought that this would be a great idea, but it's awful. Who wants to sit and wait 7 hours trying to kill a creeper or a skeleton? It's more of an annoyance than anything else. You might say it made PvP harder, but honestly, it just made PvP take 3 times as long than it did before on 1.8 in previous versions. Yes, in 1.9 we saw some cool things like more end islands and we got the Elytra. The Elytra was a cool element added onto Minecraft to allow you to glide throughout the world. I'm not opposed to a combat update, it's just this change was the worst one you could have possibly done. Recently, I watched a Mr. Epic video on the new combat mechanics and they seemed much better. The cooldown would allow you to gain more reach instead of doing more damage. You can still spam all you want, it's just your reach that is affected, and I think that is a much better implementation than what the cooldown currently is. Also, screw the skeleton buff in this update. To end the 1.9 segment off, it was a cool update in a few ways, adding some more and new useful features to the game, but the new combat mechanics just killed everything for me and killed everything for future Minecraft. There will be a few game versions that I will quickly go over as they are not the most important to this video as well. We're not going to go in depth on every single update in the game. This update added almost nothing new to the game. Coming out 4 months after the 1.9 update, the 1.10 update brought nothing new to the table. The most notable feature it brought was auto jump, and while yes, it is good to have accessibility features in the game, auto jump has annoyed all of us every time we start a new world. This update also added 3 new mobs, polar bears, that do nothing but exist. Then they added strays and husks, which are just reskinned skeletons and zombies that are hardly any different. 1.10 felt like a useless update that could have just been a 1.9 revision, or maybe wait to update the game and add some more features. The exploration update added a bit more content than 1.10 did. This update added the woodland mansions, a few new mobs for the woodland mansion. They also added a totem of undying, which is nice to have on your offhand when you're low on health. This update also felt kind of lackluster and unimportant in reality. 1.10 and 1.11 should have been merged into one single update, and maybe then this would have been a more reasonable, more remarkable update. Microsoft's ownership of the game is off to a great start so far. The World of Color update was more of an update for the builders of the game, and that isn't such a bad thing. Seeing an update for creative mode or people who like to build in the game, I feel like is a great thing to see. 1.12 felt a little back to the roots of the game when it comes to adding a vast amount of blocks to give players some extra ways to express their creativity. Beds also in this update became dyeable, which allows for more beds than just the basic red bed. Really, I feel like this update was a more positive one. While yes, it wasn't super extreme and it wasn't the biggest update ever, I just like seeing an update for the builder. 1.13 was a needed update for Minecraft. Before this update was released in 2018, the oceans were quite bland. Before 1.13, the oceans were quite neglected, only lasting an update in 1.8 when it comes to Ocean Monument. Before that though, oceans stayed the same since about Alpha. Oceans became an official biome in beta, oceans were increased in size to take up most of the map, and the ocean floors moved from dirt, sand, and clay to gravel. And also, one last thing, the frozen ocean biome was added, but was removed in the 1.7.2 update. Yet another decent content update for the game, 3 in a row. Seems odd that this is happening, but one thing that I like to see is that one main thing is being focused on in the game and is getting updated, I guess, per update. It is a nice steady way to update the game all the way around. This update added things such as bamboo, scaffolding, the smoker, cartography table, etc. This update added some nice things to decorate the areas around your base and make it look more modern. This is where Minecraft kind of changed the most for me, as now the game seems to look different. In fact, the game does look quite different with the new controversial texture pack included with the update as well. Everyone has differing opinions on the new texture pack, and for me, I hate it. I understand the point behind the texture pack, it is to make the game more consistent with the textures, but I feel like the varying textures is what made Minecraft. I understood the textures all didn't match together, and I was okay with that, along with many others. This new texture pack that was added makes the game look way too streamlined, and it feels like it's trying to copy Minecraft rather than to be Minecraft. The texture changes are probably one of the biggest gripes since 1.9 combat update that I have. I sound like such an old man saying all this stuff about the new game, but it just feels like the game is straying further and further away than from what it's supposed to be. One good thing that is, you can still use the classic texture pack. The only sucky part is all the new textures that are added will be will be part of the new texture scheme rather than the classic texture scheme. So a few years from when this video is uploaded with all the new blocks, if you still play with the classic texture packs, it's gonna look kinda wonky. Cool, we got bees in the game. Wow, what an eventful update this was. This update was honestly worse than 1.10 and 1.11 combined. The Nether update was a pretty large update for the Nether, as the Nether has not seen too many changes since its inception. I have a love-hate relationship with this update, as I am not too sure how to feel about it. On one note, it is a good thing that the Nether saw an update and added much more content, but on the other side, I feel like the Nether has changed completely from what it originally was. Let me explain. The Nether back when it first came out was so mysterious and confusing. It felt like you shouldn't really be there, and it was a scary place to explore. Nowadays, the Nether just feels much more inviting, I guess you could say, and it just doesn't feel the same. The Nether gives way too many resources now, and even includes wood. The Nether has wood in it now. The Nether should be a dimension where you have to prepare, and it should not be something you can just live in and chill in. One good thing I will say is that we got netherite. I enjoy seeing new sets of tools and armor being added into the game. It makes it feel like what it used to be by progressing through each set of tool and armors. To start off, I am merging these two updates into one segment of the video. Secondly, why are these two updates separated? Yeah, no clue. Seems a bit stupid. Mojang claims it was because of the complexity and for the team's health, which sounds like a load of excuses to me, to be honest. I remember hearing news about the update and I was kind of excited to see the new cave system, but I was quickly disappointed to realize 1.17 didn't have the new cave update, even though it's called the Caves and Cliffs update. Real cool, Mojang, real cool. If this update was one big update, I would be saying that it's a pretty cool update, adding a new difficult mob such as the Warden. Oh wait, that didn't come out till 1.19. Plus, you know, adding a new cave system, but the fact that this update was split into two kind of kills all the positivity for this update. I'm glad to see new content being added, and I'm glad to see that the caves are being updated and the mountaintops are being updated to the game. I just hate to see it split into two. Oh, and also they added copper. Yeah, cool. What a worthless ore. Even Terraria allows for copper tools, even if they're worthless. But this game? Nah. One thing I do like seeing though is food in the caves. The glow berries are a pretty cool add-on. While the update added a few cool things, it also added some useless things on top of that. But oh well. I really feel like Minecraft needs to calm down on adding the useless things. Yes, it's cool to have a lot of new and cool and unique items, but at the same time it feels so redundant. I throw away so much stuff in the game, and yes, I know there are a lot of different playstyles to the game, and having more items is cool, but some items are just why. Such as the spyglass. The spyglass feels super useless. There's no point to it. Even like Optifine already has a zoom feature built into it, and everybody should be playing on Optifine anyways. The Wild update is for sure wild, with your new chat reporting features. Coming out June 7th, 2022, you can now report people in chat. Screw everything about this update. Screw the Warden, screw the Deep Dark, and screw your goat horn. This update was awful because it added chat reporting. You may say, oh, chat reporting isn't such a bad thing. Well, no. Chat reporting can be abused, and players will, and already have, found ways to bug it out or glitch it out. The chat reporting feature is also quite dumb, as you can be banned on your own private server or your friend servers as well. This game has had multiplayer for over a decade before this feature was added on, and everything was fine. Now in 1.19, any player-hosted server must have extra add-ons if they want to bypass the chat reporting feature, or else they will face the risk of getting banned from multiplayer altogether just from a private server. On some devices as well, you're unable to play on your own single-player worlds too if you get banned, and let's not get started on false bans now. Also with chat reporting too, every single chat message you say on the server is now logged with extra data behind it, just logging more of the stuff you do online. Minecraft has been around for quite some time now, and it's even older than some of its players. Personally, I've been playing the game since about alpha and the beta days, and have experienced most of the changes when it comes to the game. Ever since Microsoft acquired Mojang though, the game has just gone downhill. While yes, we have seen some cool updates and some cool content add-ons, the game just isn't going down the right path. Ever since the combat update, the game just hasn't really been the same. Nearly every single thing in the game has changed, even when it comes to the textures and sounds that are used in the game. It just feels like a completely different game, and I understand games have to update, but this game is just not really going in the right path. Also, since the game was acquired on the software and security side, we have lost some things too. We used to have the ability to turn snooper settings off, which snooper settings is a setting that will send your data about your computer to Microsoft, which you can either turn it off or on, but in 1.18 we lost the ability to turn that setting off, which allows the game to collect a lot of data on you. The only way to turn the super settings off is with mods. We also saw the whole account merging thing where you need a Microsoft account now just to play the game. Really, I could continue on, but I don't want this video to be an hour long, and that is why Minecraft kinda sucks.